Hello. Today I'm going to finish up reading this story. Actually, going to get started. I started on it yesterday, and I had weather problems and all kinds of bad stuff. But anyhow, this is a story from my book about a school bus. Every kid in Ransomville, if they went to high school, they rode the school bus to Wilson. I guess it's still the same today. But anyhow, this story is mostly about only just on my school bus. There was lots of school buses, but the school bus that I rode on, I was the first one on the bus in the morning and the last one off in the afternoon. So what that meant was I knew where everybody lived. Very few knew where I lived, and so that was kind of cool. It had several other advantages. For example, especially in the wintertime, I got my choice of seats. Well, my choice of seat was right over the heater in the rear of the bus. The rear bus heater wasn't much, but it was a lot better than sitting with freezing your feet off somewhere else. So anyhow, our bus, it was only like 5 miles to Wilson or so, but it went on a very circuitous route to get there, and I guess we probably must have covered at least 20 miles. I guess it was a long ways. In fact, one place to pick up old Bob Bonestead, we used to go around a big loop, if you will, square loop, which was several miles in duration, just to pick up one kid, Bob Bonestead. He was a nice guy, but man, that was a long trip around that block just to get him. But anyhow, it went that way, and there was another advantage, and the other advantage was one day I was sitting in the back of the bus, and one of the prettiest girls that I'd ever seen, Iva, she got on the bus, and she came to the back, and she sat with me. Now that was totally cool. I mean, I was in heaven. But anyhow, she was in the same grade that I was, graduated the same year that I did, but I was like 2 years younger than her. And 2 years younger when you're in high school, I mean, that's a world of difference. Today, at our age now, it's nothing. But then it was a big deal. So anyhow, she sat with me, and after that, every day when she got on the bus, she would come and sit with me. And we became really good friends. We're still friends today. She lives over in Florida. I live in New Mexico. But we're still friends. And so anyhow, there was another thing about the bus, and that was I had a dog named Wimpy. And that's right. He was a spaniel. He was my hunting dog. And he was my dog, no doubt about it, because every day when I came home from school on that bus, he would be waiting in the weeds by the railroad tracks, which was about a quarter mile east from our farm. And when he saw the bus coming, he would jump up and he would run in front of the bus all the way to my house, barking at every car, every person, barking at everything. And boy, the bus drivers, they didn't like him much at all. And then there was an additional problem with that, because the dog didn't know that what days it was that I was going to be like at baseball practice. Well, if I was at baseball practice, that meant that when the bus came home, it still used the same route. And when it came home, the dog would jump up and it would run in front of the bus all the way to our house and stand on the side of the road waiting for me to get on the bus, to get off the bus. But then the bus would drive on by, and the bus drivers hated that. But anyhow, we had and speaking of the bus drivers, we had one that was a real grouch. I guess us kids didn't help that a bit. But the bus driver's name was Milton. And excuse me, it's not virus. It's cedar season here right now. There's a lot of cedar pollen, and boy, that gets to me. But anyhow, this bus driver, Milton, he was just a really grouch. I mean, he was angry about everything. Every day, there's something, you know. Didn't bother me any because I'm in the back having fun with kids, and I'm sitting with Iva. That's fine with me. But anyhow, we got this one particular day in the wintertime. We got to the intersection. Road came out to Youngstown Lockport Road, and old Milton got on the gas a bit heavy, and the rear end broke loose. Yeah, it did. But Milton, excuse me again, Milton knew how to handle situations like that. He stayed on the gas, maybe gave it some more, I don't know. But around we went. And we went all the way around. We did a 180 out on Youngstown Lockport Road, and we were facing back into Ransomville. Us boys in the back, we thought this was awesome. But anyhow, the worst part about it was Milton had to drive back into town to find a place to turn around because he was not about to back up into another street or a driveway or something. There's no telling what would happen to us then. But anyhow, it was a hoot. I didn't think it was possible to actually do a spin out driving a school bus, but he did it. And I've got witnesses. I can give you some names that would verify that. And then there was another day, it was in the wintertime also, and Milton pulled out into this intersection, and there was a little unfortunate circumstance because the intersection was already occupied, and we T-boned a car. Both vehicles were only going about 5 miles an hour, I think, when we hit. But Milton knew how to handle that situation too. Once again, he stayed on the gas, and we pushed the car sideways for a substantial distance down the road. And finally, Milton noticed there's some strange object in front of the school bus. Well, he stopped, and the driver got out of that car. He had to get out the passenger side because the driver's side was kind of rumpled up. But anyhow, that guy got right on the school bus with us kids, and boy, we heard some language that day. Woo! That guy was angry. But I think he calmed down when he probably figured out that Schultz Bus Line was going to probably buy him a new car. But anyhow, but then there was an incident on that bus that made us. There was a lot of incidences, but one that made us famous for at least for a while. And one afternoon, we got out of school. It was 2:30, 3 o'clock. I'm not sure what the timing was exactly, but it's somewhat important because we all filed onto the bus, got on the bus, and it was quite a sight to see because the buses were all lined up diagonally in the parking lot behind the school. And once they were all loaded, the vice principal would come out, give the appropriate signal, and the buses would peel off, sort of like Air Force fighter planes flying into the distance. But anyhow, our particular bus, we peeled off in the formation like every other day, and we headed south on Town Line Road. Now, Town Line Road's a pretty long road in the country, as you all know, and we didn't let off the first kid off our bus for 3 or 4 miles, I guess, at least that. But once again, it made no difference because I'm sitting in the back with my eyes on Iva. She was just cool. In fact, there's a picture in my book. That's Iva right there, if you can see her. But anyhow, man, she was beautiful. And so anyhow, we are cruising along on Town Line Road before we let off the first kid, and all of a sudden, the bus driver, he hits the brakes, pulls off the road. I said, what's going on here? And all of a sudden, then Milton, he does it good. I gotta read this verbatim here. And it says, about 3 miles in our journey, Milton hits the brakes, pulls off the road. What? He stands up and says, I will never forget this. Who did it? Who threw the lunch bag that hit me in the head? Total silence on the bus then. And you got to remember, on this bus, we had all grades on this bus. Little kids, they sat in the front. Us elite high school kids sat in the back. Well, anyhow, he said, Then he said, his next statement was, "We're going to sit here until whoever did it comes forward." Must be about 3 o'clock. And I said, I'm just a high school kid, but this doesn't make good sense to me because we got all these little kids on the bus too. But anyhow, he said, "We're going to sit there." And we did. And we sat there. Way to go, Milton. The clock is running. No negotiations. Way to go, Milton. Stand your ground. We'll worry about this grade school kids another day. I'm serious. And so anyhow, we're sitting there, and I said, "I don't care. We can stay here all night. In fact, that might be a good idea. I'm sitting with Iva." Oh, punish me. So anyhow, about 5 p.m., that's right, 5 p.m., some of the guys looking out the back said, "Hey, look what's coming. Here's a car coming. There's my phone ringing again." Anyhow, there was a car coming. It was coming fast. And we said, "Wow, what in the world's going on here?" But anyhow, the car goes off the road behind the bus, goes into a nice slide in the dirt and the sand and the gravel and the weeds. And boy, what a dust cloud. Anyhow, wow. The door flies open in the car, and it's our vice principal. Yeah. And he's running. And as he run by my window, I could see the veins sticking out in his neck, and his face is all red. He's pretty upset about something. Wonder what. But yeah, he jumps on the bus, and again, with total disregard for the little kids, he says to Milton, "What the hell is going on?" The switchboard is lit up with irate mommies. After being informed of the heinous crime, he told Milton to get us home now. At virtually every stop along the road, there was some mommy wailing about her grade school kids, and with tears streaming down her face. I said, "This is not good." The next morning, Milton finally got us all home. I don't even remember if I was questioned about why so late, but I got home, and the next morning, we get to school, and right away some kids come up to me, wanted to know what went on in our school bus. They said there's all kinds of stories. But anyhow, I make it to homeroom, and I'm sitting there at the appropriate time. The PA system goes hiss, snap, crackle, pop. All the weird sounds before it comes on. Then a voice that was very stern, very, very authoritative voice comes on there and says, "All students that ride bus number 80 in the afternoon are to report to the auditorium now." Oh, I said, "That's me." So I get up and I head out of the homeroom with enjoying the admiring glances of a couple of cuties. Sort of a hero, I guess. I don't know. And so anyhow, I proceeded to the auditorium. Lots of whispers from other admiring students along the way. We are instructed to sit in the right-hand section of the auditorium and no talking. Once seated, the curtain opens, and it's apparent they pulled all the stops. There on the stage is Ernie, the principal. Next to him is the sheriff's department. Next to him, the big gun, a priest. Wow, this is really big. We were given instructions to come one at a time through the side door of the stage. We'll start with you fellas in the back. I think this is the early stages of profiling. My read is, one of you in the back did it. Guilty, period. Well, I was not the first to go in, but I was way up there. My turn. I sure hope I didn't get framed. I go in and close the door as instructed. They are standing in a semicircle with the priest in the middle. I'm thinking the school principal was there to administer immediate beating to the guilty party. The sheriff is there to charge the couple with the appropriate law for unlawfully discharging a lunch sack. The priest, of course, was there to administer last rites and sentence you to hell and eternal damnation. Heavy stuff. But wait, I'm Lutheran. I can state 95 grievances I have against the Catholic Church. Just put your hand on the Bible. Got me there. It's the same Bible the Lutheran Church uses. They thought of everything. Down to business. The principal asked, "Did you throw the lunch that hit Milton?" No, I swear on the Bible with Mother Mary as my witness. Maybe I just said no. These dudes were serious. The sheriff asked, did you see who threw it? Answer, no. I was too busy watching a hottie named Iva. Not me. Watching someone trying to... not about me to be watching someone trying to knock out Milton with a lunch sack. I was instructed to go out the far door of the stage and sit on the left side of the auditorium. No talking. I was thinking this will be a real hoot if a girl was a criminal. I was wondering... I'm sorry. I was wondering why they were still holding us. My guess it is, if they didn't get a confession, shock treatments and or waterboarding was on the horizon. There we sat. Seemed like an hour has passed. About halfway through the detainees, Delton went in and didn't come out. Uh-oh, Delton did it. I should have known it. The Bible was too much for Delton. They got him. Time passes and Ernie the principal comes out and instructs us to go to our assigned classes. Lots of whispers. Delton did it. I should have figured it. He had a seat way up, halfway up the school bus where he had a clean shot at Milton. The brown bag caper is closed. Talk about fame. Every kid in school was asking questions. Some were actually congratulating me. Delton was no longer in school. and so that's one of the, there's other stories about the school bus in there, but that was one that kind of made us famous. So anyhow, just always remember, no matter where you go, there you are. Bye.